Good morning, guys, and welcome back to my channel. For this morning, I actually have a title for this video in mind before even uploading it, and the title is gonna be "Don't Make the Same Mistake That I Did." Right? Because I've come to realize that I've made a very fatal mistake that actually cost me dearly. Right? So I'm gonna get into that shortly. Yeah. Take a look, guys. Both the Chinese owl eggs hatched. She's a very feisty mom. I wanna see the chicks. Easy. So these are their chicks. These chicks are what, about a week now? No, it's not a week because I made the other video in this past week. So these are about 4 days to 5, I think. Not fully a week as yet. Let's take a closer look. So these are the Chinese owl baby. If you notice, they have a much smaller beak and stuff like that. Hey, you're fighting and you can hardly see. Your eyes just opening and you're fighting. Feisty just like their mom. They're getting very good feed. That's very good. There are some good parents. Look at that one. Very beautiful. I'm not sure what color they're going to be as yet. As you can see, the beaks are dark. So that's a good indication that they're going to have a lot of color on them. The male is a blue bar male. That's him right there on the ground. And that's the mom right there. So a lot of possibility in terms of the color. You could even drop black or mixture of black and white or gray, which we call blue bar. So back to what I was talking about, the fatal mistake that I've made. And the bird that I had that was sick, it ended up passed off just like the one before. So I was watching a video on pigeon disease. Not really say disease, but the stuff that can happen to your pigeon in terms of the yas that is on them and the thing that the other one had that was in its throat. I think we call it conker. I'm not sure if that's a correct name for it. So what I'm getting at is this, guys. What I realized that I did massively wrong is that while I was feeding the bird that was sick, I was using the same syringe. I didn't wash it off, and I was feeding other birds with it, because when I mixed the feeder, the mixture of feeder to feed the one that is sick, the remaining feed, I didn't throw it away. I could never do that. So I just fed other birds with it. So if you notice now, the birds that end up sick or caught yaws was all the birds that I was actually feeding with the syringe. So what I realized is that I should have washed the syringe before feeding other birds with it, or feed the healthy birds before feeding the sick birds. So don't make that mistake, guys. So this was one of the birds that I usually feed with it. The white one that died and the one before. The first one that was sick is the pretty color one, similar to that one over there. A very pretty color. I really wanted to work with that bird. So that one was the first one was sick, right? In the process, I was feeding this one along with the sick one, and the other white one, and also the pouter chick over there. Those 4 birds, I kept feeding them with the same syringe, and what I realized is that most likely I passed the bacteria from one bird to another bird, right? You notice this one caught it in its mouth too, right on its mouth. It's not a coincidence. And it's when I was watching the video I really realized that, because it did not come to mind. You understand? So this one caught it on its mouth. The pot over there caught it on its mouth. The very first one, I'm not sure what was the real issue with it, because it didn't show any signs of conker or yaws. But the other three showed sign of it. You saw that? So the white one that I was feeding and stuff, that one definitely had it in its mouth. That's when you can open the bird mouth and look in there and you see some yellow stuff in it. That's what they call conker. And that is very dangerous because it doesn't show on the outer part of the bird, and sometimes you realize it late. If you have your cub and like you just notice a bird is in a corner and it's not moving around much, check it. Open its mouth and look in it and see if it's sick. Okay? And it's good to even take up a bird and feel the weight of them and just keep track of that. Know what your birds normally feel like and stuff. Okay? So don't make that mistake, guys. It's a mistake that really cost me and I've really learned from it. So that's why I'm sharing it with you guys. Okay? So if you have a bird that is sick and you're feeding it, do not use the same syringe to feed other birds. If you're going to do that, make sure you clean the syringe before doing that. Okay? So now that I've touched on that, I'm going to touch on some other things that is going on. Other things that I had to learn from too. Like with the pouters around there. I'm going to get to that very shortly. So I'm just going to give you guys a moment to take in the birds, see what they're going on. I take out the other two pouters that was in here, that is normally on the box here, because they are single and they tend to be bullying other pigeons. Like one of them had a habit of coming up here, right where the Chinese owls are. He didn't go in the box, but he normally come up here and pick a fight with them. So I took him out. I didn't want him keep disturbing them. It was so bad that literally both the male and the female normally stay in the box just to protect the birds. They didn't want him to trouble the birds, so I had to do that. You notice this one, guys? The feathers haven't fully come back in as yet, but you can almost see the little flooring that is supposed to be in their chest. When she has fully molt, you're going to be able to see that much better. It's going to be beautiful, guys. So that's it. I took out the pouters. I took out the white one too. It wasn't giving much trouble, but what I wanted is that I wanted to free up this area over here, that the frills can be more active and naturally, I want them to pair up naturally. That's what I want. I could even be more active, and then now I can put who I want to put together. I noticed this black one here is become a bit more active, cooing and stuff. So that's what I want from them. Okay. You see they're on here now. If the pouters were here, you see what I'm showing you? Yeah. If the pouters are here, the pouters would be up there and they would be beating them off there. This one is coming in very nicely too. Look at the amount of frills on that. The next thing I want to talk about too, guys, is the feeding that you give your birds. Right now, I think my birds are getting bored of this feeding. If you notice, there's feeding there. I guess they're not really that hungry, but based on their attitude towards the feed, I can tell that they're getting bored of it. So what I'm thinking of doing now is that normally I buy Nutrimix pig pellet. What I'm thinking of doing, I'm going to be rotating the feeder between hyper feeds, chicken feeder, and the Nutrimix pig feeder. So like if this week I buy a bag of Nutrimix, next week I buy a bag of hyper feeds. Because if you give your birds as much variety of feed that you can afford and type of grains, it's much better for them. They will be more healthy and they will eat more. So you can't go wrong with that. Okay? So that's what I'm planning to do, guys. I'm planning to rotate the feeder. Each time I'm buying, I buy from the other one that I never bought before. Why is this bird breathing like this? You good? Gotta observe the birds, guys. Definitely gotta observe the birds. So I'm gonna go around there. And good news too, guys, the yellow on the champagne has laid back. I think things are taking a turn for the better. If you have been watching the channel, you'll know that I've had a serious issue with the chicks being hatched, and thankfully we have 2 young chicks up here. I think that's definitely going to break the curse. And I have some eggs that are looking really good. This is the powder that I was telling you guys about. That's it right there. The yas and its mouth. And I definitely think that the feeding with the same syringe transfer something to him. But it's not that bad because I noticed it very early and I put the purple dressing on it. The other one that died, it had it down its mouth, so by the time I found out, it was maybe too late. Okay, so this one is okay. Somebody commented and said that I could use lime and just rub it off one time. That's it right there, and get rid of it. But honestly, guys, where I'm living, I haven't seen a lime tree in a long while. If you're in Jamaica, comment in the comment section and tell me, is lime tree popular where you are? Where I'm at, I don't see sour orange anymore. You remember sour orange we could go and pick and do all sorts of stuff with? I don't see lime trees anymore like that. Compulsory you'll find somebody with a lime tree. So I don't have that option. Alright, but I know this is not gonna get bad. It's gonna eventually drop off, just like the one around here that I was showing you before, where the thing just completely drop off. But guys, I have 2 eggs right here. I didn't even write down when these eggs are supposed to hatch, but they're looking really good. Really solid eggs. Look at that, guys. So I'm really hoping that both eggs will hatch. I ain't gonna trouble them, but I think based on how those eggs look, I think in the coming week they might be hatching. I do believe so. I have 2 eggs right here. I would build this door because I've been so busy, and as I touch on that, my mom, guys, she's not doing too bad. Thanks for everybody that gave their well wish for her to feel better. She's really not doing too bad. We did some tests and stuff, and we're waiting on the result and stuff. So this here's another pair that has 2 beautiful eggs. I noticed an issue with this pair. The box that they were in was a bigger box because that box was for the pouters, right? And I noticed where when they're setting on the egg, sometimes one of the eggs are way over to one side, so I had to switch out the nest box. Eggs look really good. I had to switch out the nest box and put this smaller nest box in it. So guys, observing your birds is very important. Now they're setting on the eggs very well. I also put this pair over here. I showed you guys this pair last week. I haven't been going on with that much, but I'm not really rushing them. Very beautiful pair. There's some other stuff going on over here too. I'm seeing like that blue bar is in the nest. I'm gonna have to check it afterwards to see if it's lay. Also, I've basically put the older champagne in. Let me get the key. Where is the key? I have it in my pocket. I basically give the older champagne in a break. Look at these birds while I pull the cage. Okay, this one. Up here. This one, yeah. I I'll put her with this male. Remember, this male now, it doesn't it doesn't tread ends successfully, so I'm basically giving her a break. This bird right here, guys, if you notice my profile picture, it is actually this bird right here. And guys, this bird is about 7 or 8 years old. So that's the reason why she's not producing very good eggs. But I know with the right diet, she would be able to produce some. So that's something I'll have to consider to get a specific diet for her, high in calcium and stuff. I want to be able to give back my birds like the Parrot Vita. It's just that to be able to give so many birds it, that's the issue, guys. That's the real issue. So this is the other young chick. This pair right here was up in that section right there, that small section, but the eggs that they were on was not fertile. So now I've given them the option of being out here. And this is a chick from the yellow. That's the yellow right here. That big guy right there. As the camera went on him, he started cooing. So this is one of his chick. The other chick that I showed you around there is also one of his chick. And that tail mark end over there, that's the mom. So this right here, guys, is a beautiful chick coming up. Look at him right there. I'm not sure if it's a him or a her. I think it might be a her because when they were hatching out, the first one, I didn't help it out and it ended up dying in the egg, and I had to help out this one and it hatched successfully. So guys, this is the pair right here. Just say I'm gonna let them be out here and get a chance to mate, and they have laid about 2 times or 3 times, and the eggs weren't fertile because they were in the smaller section. So I want to see what they will do when they are out and about. Now guys, this is the pouters. So I've got to explain to you what's the mistake that I made in here, or what really happened. So these aren't their eggs. I should have explained that around there, but when I'm explaining it here, you'll probably understand better. So I had a nest box up here. This nest box was way up at the top, okay? Originally they were making their nest on the ground, and for some reason the hen decided that she wanted to go and lay up in the nest box way up here. And for some reason the male now, maybe because he's bigger, had problems to go up in that nest box. So the hen laid 2 eggs, but I noticed that they stopped going on the eggs very soon because the male wasn't going up there. So I had to take out back this nest box, put this nest box on the ground. I put these 2 eggs, these eggs aren't theirs. I put these 2 eggs in this to see if they would go back on the eggs. Then I would return their rightful eggs, but as you can see, guys, they're not going on the eggs. So I'll have to just throw away these 2 eggs and get them back to laying very soon. So in terms of their own egg, let me show you where their eggs are. The same bird that I was looking at on the eggs around here, that's where their eggs are. So you see, they are coming to eating, but nobody is feeling excited about the food. So I've put the pouter eggs in this nest right here. A couple of days I'm going to test them to see if it's fertile and stuff. They are about 2 days since they have laid, so they can't be tested as yet. Her eggs that she laid, she had one of them that was fertile and one wasn't. Also, this one down here, that little black hen, she laid 1 egg, but that egg wasn't good. So what I did was I took her 1 egg that is good, put in that nest, right? Took away that egg that is spoiled, took away that other egg that is spoiled, and that's the 2 eggs that you're seeing around there now with the pouters. So the pouter eggs are right here, and her fertile egg is down in that nest. So that's why you gotta rotate it sometime, guys, to save a life. So I definitely want to see if those eggs are gonna be fertile, even that much. And the thing is, I'll have to monitor those eggs, because at some point that pair right there that I gave the eggs are going to eventually stop going on it, because they have an internal clock and knows when their egg that they had laid, they know when their rightful egg is supposed to hatch. So when that time comes, they're going to stop going on that egg. So I'll have to switch it from that nest to a different nest at some point. But first, I'm going to wait and find out if it's fertile. Then now I can do that. As I told you guys before, the yellow right here, the yellow boss, the bird that is always active, full of energy. Yeah. Always fighting. Ow, ow, ow. Come on, come on. Full of character. So that's the hen right here, guys. She has laid, I think it's only her first egg that she has laid. I definitely want to see what these guys are going to throw, guys. Like, I'm so anticipating it. And I'm hoping that this time will give me a better set of eggs. I trimmed them up when I noticed that there was only one egg fertile the last time and all of that. So fingers crossed, guys. Fingers crossed. We definitely want to see this come to fruition. See these guys throwing some chicks. This guy. Come on, go back inside. That's one of my favorite birds right there, guys. The color and the character. Never a dull moment with this bird. That's gonna be the big boss one day, running off the coop. So yes, guys. So pertaining to the pouters, where the mistake is that I should have rectified their section in terms of making sure that. And yes, guys, we got some rain. We got some rain yesterday. I don't even like being outside when it's raining, but the sun is coming up, guys. It's gonna be a beautiful day. So, as I was saying, in terms of the pouters, what I should have done is make sure that I pull down those nest boxes that were up in the high section. I put it on the ground, because the pouters don't really go up. When they're nesting, they normally nest on the ground. These birds are just chilling too. Look at that. This morning I didn't put the corn as yet on top of it. And if you notice, if I had put the corn on top of the feeder, a lot of them would have flocked towards it. And that tells me that they are more eating the corn than this actual feeder. They're going to eat this, but it's only when they are hungry. I understand. So that tells me I need to switch up the feeder a bit. This beautiful guy right here. And that's the other one over there. The birds are just chilling, guys. I'm gonna get inside and see what's going on. I placed 2 more nest boxes on the ground because all these nest box areas here have been practically occupied. So I really like that. The birds are coming into their own. Remember, these are mostly younger birds that haven't laid as yet, are fully paired out. So they're doing their thing, guys. And I have 2 beautiful eggs down here too. I'm not gonna trouble them. I showed you guys last week. I'm not sure when they're supposed to hatch too. Because I wasn't getting much chicks, so I stopped. I normally, once the birds lay, I normally put a notification on my calendar on my phone to know when it's supposed to hatch. But I put a notification of when some of the birds lay, so I have an idea of when they're supposed to hatch. but I don't know the specific date. Normally I put a notification for each specific bird. So if there's a bird lay like this one down here has a chocolate color, that's the N right there, I would put a notification of the chocolate color. So I'll just put chocolate and put the date that it's supposed to hatch. But sometimes it's nice to have a surprise. Even with the Chinese owl, I didn't know when they were supposed to hatch, and look at that, they hatch out successfully. So maybe that's a good thing. Very beautiful. So yes guys, look at the view that the birds have. One thing with country guys, it's so beautiful in the morning and peaceful. Very beautiful guys. And then to have these birds to just greet you in the morning, nothing is better. Well, almost nothing. This one here is coming in its own too. This one right here is coming from the champagne end that I just showed you before with the yellow and the red male, and he was born with this champagne one down here, and so it's a good look to see him behaving like this. It's gonna be a powerful male. Look at him guys, very beautiful. I wonder what's going on here. I'm gonna have to check back in the day to see who is going into these bags and who is pairing it with who. I think these guys would have enjoyed having another row of nest box up here. Definitely will have to sort that out very soon, because as I said, these nest boxes down here are kind of occupied already. This year, these two guys, look at them, they have actually paired on their own. I think it's a very beautiful pair. Look at that guys, two beautiful birds. There they go. And the Chinese owls are usual. I haven't collected their hennas yet. Let's see if I can get a close up on him. Look at them. These guys don't fear of no one. Look at that. Very interesting birds. Little but mighty. And afraid of no one. So that's about it for this week guys. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I hope you guys learned something from the video. Learned from my mistakes and stuff. Can't wait to put this on the breeding, but you know, we don't have a hen firm as yet. We're now at the 29 minutes. I'm just going to round it off at 30 minutes. Just observing the birds. And then I'll catch you guys next week for another update. Hopefully you have some more eggs hatch from next week. Getting some more young chicks. That would be very beautiful. I think was it this one? This one right here actually hatched with one of these. I'm not sure which one. I'm not sure if it's that one. No, I think it's that one. And this one here is a very beautiful bird, a powerful bird. Like majority times when I'm really doing my thing and birds hatch, I normally keep one and would have sold one. So like this one here would have definitely been a keeper, and like that one now I would definitely have sold that one. But that's just me. Birds are doing good, guys. So I'll catch you guys next week. Leave a like and leave a comment, okay? See ya.